Welcome to another edition of Breaking News brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will discuss the case of Tel Instrument Electronics Corporation, or TIE Corp. In this acquisition, the agency sought to procure radio test equipment for current and future operations. The agency initiated Market Research 2017, absorbed information, and issued another RFI in 2018. In May and June of 2019, the agency met with 4 firms that expressed interest through their RFI responses and shared information about the status of the prospective radio test set procurement. In those meetings, the agency also indicated uncertainty about many points, as the requirements were largely unsettled. TIE Corp contacted the government in October of 2019 and asked for the updated specifications. The government said they are not complete, but recommended that TIE Corp watch for the solicitation. The government published the solicitation in July 22, 2020, with a proposal due date of October 21, 2020. The agency extended the due date to January 22, 2021 based on TIE Corp's request but denied the second extension request. TIE Corp submitted a proposal by the specified deadline, but on January 14, 2021, it protested the agency's action. The protester argued that the agency should have disclosed the content of the prior pre-solicitation conferences and one-on-one meetings where the agency disclosed, among other things, the fact that there would be a forthcoming solicitation seeking 6 GHz test sets and that the agency anticipated requesting test samples. Instead of disclosing the information when the protester inquired about updated technical specifications for the forthcoming procurement in October of 2019, the protester continued, "The agency declined to substantively respond in a substantive manner. The agency simply noted that it was preparing to issue the solicitation, which would provide updated technical specifications." The protester contends that, because the solicitation was not issued until July of 2020, the other offerers had nearly a year's advance notice that they would need to provide 6 GHz test samples, but the protester was not provided this information. En route to finding against the vendor, the GAO noted the agency did not violate FAR 15.201F because it requires that the information must be made available to the public as soon as practicable, but no later than the next general release of information. The GAO noted that there was no other release of information after the meetings where the agency still had not determined exactly what its requirements would be. When the agency did settle on its requirements, the GAO continued, the next general release of information was the publication of the solicitation in July of 2020. This meets the FAR's minimum requirement to provide the information no later than the next general release of information. Moreover, the GAO continued, had the protester expressed interest in the requirement earlier in the market research process, there is no doubt that the protester would have received the same early, yet indefinite information other offerers received. Given these facts, the protest was denied. Now let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include 1. FAR 15.201F generally requires the government to share information revealed in industry that was released to others by the next general release of information. 2. The next general release of information could be the release of the solicitation. And 3. This requirement to release information shared with other industry participants is inapplicable when the requirements are not firm but preliminary in nature. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discussed the TIE Corp case and general rules regarding the dissemination of information in the pre-solicitation phase. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.